Welcome to the first 40. This is our sports show with the Goon Squad. You got Black Thor over there, you have Ice Water over there, and yours truly, Puma, giving you the sports. We're going to start with our hot topics. And Black, the NFL makes some rule changes. And your boy Tequila Tom is mad because he's like, how am I supposed to know who's the lineman, this, that, the other? But if I'm thinking correctly, don't college sports have the different numbers and the college players understand who's on the field and what position they're playing? So was he drunk? What's going on, man?
No, I agree with you there. To me, I looked at some of the changes and they're so minimal. Like, why even bother? I mean, NFL. To me, and even with the now they have the guy. I think before they would go to upstairs in the booth, and that person would make the decision if they were replaying. Now he's going to confer with the referee, which is really kind of
There's another 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
Yes. I'll be honest, man. To me, the NFL stop every year with all these rule changes, bro. Tighten up on the ones you have, because sometimes a catch is not a catch, a catch is not a catch. Those are the things you need to kind of really work on in the off season. But stop thinking that these winter meetings or these meetings they get together that you got to come out with these silly old rules every year. Who cares about what number this person has on? If you line up at the line of scrimmage, you're blocking. If you're not down next to the center or two, you're not a tackle. It's just I don't care if you have no number on. It's simple. If you're standing outside, you're a wide receiver or you're a runner. Come on, man. We do that. We play when we play to watch football.
Yeah, we were kids. Yeah,
it's like an insult to the fan intelligence. It really is, bro. But they got nothing else better to do. Nothing else better to do. That's it. When I looked at the rules, that's what I saw. They have nothing else better to concrete really spend time on, but they feel like they must do something every year. Somebody whines about something in the off season, some coach, somebody, and then they feel like they must do something to appease them.
Yeah, I see this as a money grab too, because a lot of players are going to be changing their jerseys, and then folks are going to be buying those jerseys with those new numbers on it. I never knew why they didn't do it anyway, but there are a number of rules. They're adding a loss of down, an additional 5 yards to a legal forward pass. They're doing some other things that are kind of interesting, but they're kind of minimal. So what are your thoughts about this, man?
Well, the jersey thing is just crazy. That's just their protocol, which they've always done it. Well, lineman can only wear this. Offensive lineman can wear this. Then if you're somebody else, you can wear this. I mean, it's still structured a little bit, but it's a lot more wide open now. Man, who cares? For real, seriously. Sometimes you're just glad to get out there on the field. I remember when we was growing up, it's like, damn, I wish I could get number 3 or whatever, right?
Yeah.
You're like, well, you got a jersey. Such and such didn't even make the squad. You're like, all right, well, cool. I'll work with 45. I'll make it. Like I'll make 45 work, because that's just how it is. But when you talk about those, the other rules, the other part that I saw too was now it's getting just simple and crazy. Like they mentioned before that instead of an onside kick, somebody proposed that you come up with if you can get a 4th and 15 or something, and if you make it, you can get a chance to score. I was like, wait a minute. Or in the extra time where instead of doing a regular kickoff or something to that effect, then the one team gets to decide whether or not they want the ball. Then they get to decide. It's called a place it in something, a play where you can place the ball in 2 different areas, and you can decide whether or not you're gonna play offense or defense as you're going into overtime. Come on, man. I mean, seriously, they're like they're nitpicking, trying to do some different things. It's almost like you want to remove in the NBA. They talking about removing just had unlimited fouls and removing the 6 foul rule. I mean, some things just leave it alone.
Oh,
it's just horrible. So when you're doing too much, let the guys put the numbers out there and just let them play. I mean, the players some people are tripping or acting crazy or whatever about certain things. You already gave up the 17 game, bro. So just take your extra time off and get your behind ready for practice. Make that money, baby. That's what they care about. Make that money. So
let's say something real quick, Poom, if you don't mind.
Oh, go ahead.
I know Ice talked about that. Everybody think about doing with fouls. That'd be the worst. Worst. I watched Dwight Howard one day last week. This cat got like 4 or 5 fouls in 6-7 minutes of play. Could you imagine? He might get 30 fouls in one game, bro. They'll be shooting free throws the whole entire game.
Certain things you just need to leave alone.
Because I think in hockey they got an enforcer. I can see that in basketball they have unlimited fouls. Just have an enforcer. Just foul. Bang, bang.
Hey, you remember the 80s, man? You remember the ML Carr and
Yeah.
Bill Lambert? Jordan would have made it. He wouldn't even played against the Pistons.
ML Carr was a good 6 fouls, man. That's it.
The bad boys were so nasty with their Jordan rule fouls. One dude hit him on top, other dude catch him on the way down. They were nasty, bro.
Oh, yeah.
No wonder he hit it like them.
All right, let's go to our NBA eye test. And watching Steph Curry, he had a bad game against Washington, the last game out there I saw. But this guy's been on a tear, man. But I'm gonna kind of defer to Ice first. Your NBA eye test, and then we'll go to Black.
Well, there's so many injuries. I don't know who the hell is doing what. I don't know. Is Ball coming back? Is he in Charlotte? Is his wrist still broke? I mean, it's so much. And then one time Simmons doesn't play, and everybody talking about, well, they're undermanned. I was like, everybody else played but him. How the hell they undermanned? He can't shoot. Anyway, allegedly. But I just don't get it. The media is always looking for something. What I want to look at is, I'm looking at the current standings is, I'm looking at potential matchups. I don't know if it's going to hold water because it's still a little ways to go. But Philly's number 1 right now, and Charlotte's number 8. I would love to see that matchup. I would, especially when Ball comes back. Because something about Philly,
Will they make it with the play-in? That's
right. But if right, and I forgot about that. But if they make it in the play-in, I would like to see something like that. I would love to see that because something about Philly just don't feel right. I know everybody wants them, the old Philly folks, people in New York and all on that East Coast is hoping Philly takes back the NBA again, from the wicked West. But nah, man, I just something about it. I would love to see that. Also, too, I'm loving the play of Phoenix, man. Man, they are balling. They beat Philadelphia the other night. Chris Paul's finding some extra energy pills. And they're playing pretty good basketball overall. I like that too. Denver too, man. Denver's finding a way despite losing Jamal Murray. I like the way that they're playing. Lakers just kind of hanging back in the 5th spot, waiting for the cavalry to come. I think the cavalry's coming up real soon. And LeBron James and Anthony Davis. So that should
better come real soon. They 5-5 in the last 10.
Right. But I think they're coming real soon. Maybe as early as next week. Or the following week. And then Golden State is Memphis, I saw was number 8, and Golden State is number 9. They're only like a game apart. So, Steph Curry is trying, and maybe he should just bag it and don't worry about it, keep moving forward. But it should be interesting. And if it's 3 and 6 too, Milwaukee's number 3 and Boston is 6. I always like anybody that can give Milwaukee trouble, just to kind of at least give them a little challenge. But it's coming down to the end. Nobody knows what's going on. You don't know if Brooklyn's going to get all their guys back at the same time. And it's all these questions. That's one thing I kind of is kind of bizarre about the media these days is they're so desperate for things to happen to try to get a story. It's like, well, is Harden, is that 3? Are there 3-headed monster going to have enough time to jail when they come back? And can they? You don't know. You're guessing. It's just like, well, who knows who's gonna come back? It's a lot of guessing. So I'm gonna sit back and watch and wait. We're not that far away to see what happens when the playoffs start, so everybody can just kind of calm down and be quiet. But I like the way Phoenix is playing. I love the fact that Monty Williams is putting in much work, and the players are responding because he's such a good dude, man. Despite what has happened in his life, and to see him showing the ability to coach that team the way that he is, I like the way that that's happening out there.
All right, Black. There was a team that Ice failed to mention in the East that's sitting at number 4. You are now tuning in to watch, but they won 7 in a row.
8
and 8 in a row, yeah. And they're not playing in. They want in on the playoffs without playing in, which I don't think they would win a play. But anyway, they're looking pretty good. I'm looking at Utah. They're looking pretty good. Phoenix, they're looking pretty good. Portland is trying to solidify their placement, but I don't think it's going to happen. They're 3-7 in the last 10. Golden State seems like they're just letting Curry loose and say, whatever you do, just put some points on the board, help us to win wherever we land up, But it's starting to get crunch time, man, in the NBA. Your eye test.
Yeah, I'll start here with the Philadelphia 76ers. I don't believe in them, bro. I just don't believe in them. I watched them a little bit, and they don't play defense for the most part. Even when Simmons is out there and they have full strength, they have leads of 20 and 30, allow teams to basically come back if they don't allow the teams to win. The teams make it very close. That's not a championship squad, bro. That's just not a championship team. I mean, Embiid is going to be Embiid. He's getting it done. It's good to see him playing consistently and playing strong each and every night. That's one thing I'm going to give credit to Doc for. But outside of that, when they get in the playoffs with Doc coaching them, we know what's going to happen. I can already see the writing on the wall. I'm going to say something, too, real quick, man. I think some of these veteran players have found a way to get around the no-load, whatever contest thing it is, because you can't tell me, man, a lot of these players, some of these injuries aren't being milked. LeBron won. Anthony Davis, some of these injuries are being milked, bro. They are so long, we forget what they're hurt for. They don't talk about it. They just come back when they're ready. And even with Harvin and Durant, what the hell's going on? I mean, Irvin plays when you feel like he wants to play. The rest of it kind of come, Kevin Durant gave you a couple of quarters. Oh, my calf is hurting. What the hell? I'm sorry.
LA, I'm going to start calling him LA.
Yes, it's like, and I will say this, man, I don't know. I mean, close against the playoffs, they're talented, but I don't know if they're going to be able to turn that switch off and start playing together, man. Just roll. I think what may help them is that the team that's playing without them, they're playing very well, and they're playing because cohesiveness together. So that may help them. But outside of that, man, if they come back and try to take over and, let those guys go in the background, I don't think they're going anywhere. I don't trust Milwaukee either. They've been kind of quiet lately. And I'm going to give McMillan, even though Tibbs is doing a hell of a job, man, Nate up in Atlanta got something going on, bro. That team looks totally different. I could talk about Phoenix. They did play better against Philadelphia. What's the name may never get a ring, CP3, but he deserves one because that cat, wherever he goes, man, he puts the work in. He gets people to play better with him, and he's strong. Man, I got to talk about the Knicks. I said to you on Sunday, bro, it's been a long time since I planned my day to get home and watch New York Knicks. And that's what I did on Sunday. Was it Sunday? Yes, Sunday. I planned my day. I got a little late. I think the game started at 1. I got in like 1:05. I was mad about it. But these cats.
Wait. You got mad?
I got mad, bro. I wanted to get off. Hey, I haven't felt this way in years, man. Years. Because Tibbs has done something in that Garden, bro. And it's amazing because if the Garden was able to be 19,000 strong, the noise would be unbelievable because they're playing solid defense. They're playing some very good defense. Randall, I don't know what, they say Kobe basically schooled him years ago and it's starting to come out now. That brother's playing beyond himself, man. And one thing I'm noticing more and more in the NBA, and I haven't heard commentators pick up and say this because everybody's in love with the three-point shot. There are a lot of cats now, man, shooting mid-range jumpers and knocking them down.
Yeah, that's the game right there.
Yeah, a lot of people are doing that. Are they going in with a little teardrop? And they're just not at the mid-range now is killing the NBA. I mean, not in a good sense, but nobody's talking about it because everybody gets fascinated. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to take anything from Curry because he's doing what he has to do. But I'm not impressed when he puts up 40 and 50 at this point, bro. I'm just not. I mean, we've seen all that before. I'm not impressed, bro. I show me players that basically haven't been doing it, that's doing their thing now, that's fine. If you're gunning and you're shooting and your team is taking you off screen, that's what he does, bro. It's nothing new. He won 2 MVPs doing this. And so that's his game. I get it. I'll say it again. He's not making that team better by doing that. It looks good. It's the highlights. I'm just going to say what it is. We all kind of say, and I heard people say before, the true essence of a really solid, good basketball player, you make the team, people around you better. Is he making the players around him Golden State better? No, he's getting his. And that's selfish to me.
I have to disagree with you on that because when I saw the game, especially against the Wizards, what the Wizards were doing with Steph is double teaming him, and he was finding an open man. Now, he can't make the basket for them. he can't make the basket for Wiggins. He can't Obre. He can't. I mean, he can. You can get take a horse and put him in front of water, but he can't make the baskets for him. But he was finding the open man. He moves constantly. I mean, if I had to guard him, I'd be like, Coach, take me out after 10 minutes because I can't follow this dude around the court all the time.
No, that's who he is. But I think one thing that's not being, in my opinion, Golden State has made some draft picks and made some moves that hasn't worked well for them in the future. Wiggins, I don't know why they still have him on the team, but let's be honest. I just, Mube, the other guy you talk about, he plays from time to time. He's not consistent. But overall, some draft picks, they drafted a cat, I can't think of his name, out of Villanova. He hasn't given them anything, bro. When he went
I thought that was a good draft pick, but he hasn't produced yet.
Yes, it just hasn't. So some of their picks really hasn't come to fruition. So they find themselves where they are. So I'm not saying what he's doing is not good. I'm just not impressed. And be honest with you, I don't even want to see it because I mean he's knocking down 40. And Magic Johnson, for the say after he beat Philly, that's it. He's the MVP. I mean, Magic Johnson sometimes says some things you just got to really scratch your head, bro. I mean, it's a nice performance, good game, but that's not the MVP.
Yeah, I sat purposely and watched him, Seth, on their East Coast tour, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. You got to be. You can't guard him. You cannot guard that dude. And even Washington, they almost pulled out the game in Washington. They were trying to double, and he was finding the open man. Him and Green, they're doing all they can with the talent they have, but you can't make these baskets for these guys. I mean, you truly can't. And phenomenal passes, defense, whatever. They were doing what they could do, but those guys, I don't know if they choke up. I don't know if they're just watching and forget they're on the basketball court and just bedazzled by Steph Curry. But I don't get it. They just can't make baskets.
I'm gonna illustrate my point with the game you just talked about against the Wizards. He had a bad night against the Wizards, and they were in that game down by 6 with a minute, 55 seconds left to go. What's that telling you? The other players had a chance to play and score. That's what I'm trying to say. He had a bad night, and they could have won that game if Wiggins would have made that free.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Thanks to Westbrook, they could have won that game.
Yeah, but I gotta look at that point though. When you say that though, I gotta look on the other end when they played Philly and they beat Philly. The point of it is, granted, the 40 plus, some people be like, oh, that's what he does, and I'm cool with that. But what he impressed me when he dropped 40 on his brother. And that's impressive. You dropped 40 on your brother, 40 plus on your brother. Now you got my attention. It's like, look, you know my game. You grew up with me. You know what we do. We practice all the time. And he gave me 40 plus. I was like, now that's balling right there. Because if my brother tried to drop 40 on me, he wouldn't make it. He'd be about 25. He'd be in an ambulance.
He'd be in a crowbar. Get a crowbar from my partner at halftime.
Really dropping 40 on me. It's just like when they say how people were, you see with them kids or whatever, they play ball and score like 100 to 3 and whatever they doing, they blow them out in your gym. Nah, bro. Now that's the reason why they got fouls. You ain't coming in here and busting the clock on us, for real. You supposed to have some pride, and that's so they can be mad all they want to, but nah. Certain things you got to do to stop that. But in order to see Steph Curry drop 40 plus on his own brother when he knows what he does, I was like, the other stuff I watched was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Wow, he's really was playing really had a nice little streak. But when he dropped 40 on his brother, I was like, now you got my attention.
But, I'm gonna go back to a point that you made earlier about ML Carr, and that's taking nothing away from Curry, but you got to have some cats on your bench where you count as fouls. Let's be honest, bro. And he's dropping that. You got to send somebody to just when he comes off.
You can't catch up when he's constantly moving. You can't catch him.
When he comes off that screen, you can do this. You make him think the next time he come off that screen, he's gonna get this. They don't do that in the NBA no more. I'm just saying.
This is not your NBA or your dad.
No, it ain't the whole NBA.
Nah. This is where you come in the lane up. I mean, it's to the point where, think about this, and I ain't mad about it, but it is what it is. You remember the time when before they were saying that when they were saying certain people were tangling up feet when the guy was shooting a jumper?
Yeah.
And then they come out, you try to hurt him. Really? That used to be par for the course. They just call a foul, move on. Now we got to run back the tape and see, did he really kick him? And did he really, and what level of consistency did he go out after him to try to hurt him when he kick his leg or something like that. We got too close to him. Dude, this is so soft now. It is so soft, and you ain't no way in hell they could play in the 80s.
No,
There's no way in hell that the 80s could play now. You know, it's kind of like trying to put Jack Tatum in modern day football. He wouldn't make
it. He'd be suspended for the half of the season. But anyway, going back to the New York Knicks, Zion, this dude was cheesing during an interview after the Pelicans played the Knicks, talking about he loved to play Madison Square Garden. And he was cheesing like, man, when my rookie contract is up, I don't think it'll happen because they're going to give him the max. And not too many people just turn down the max with the team that they're going to play. So if it happens, it's going to happen maybe 5-6 years down the road. But Black, what are they saying in New York about Zion's love for playing in MSG?
I'm going to tell you something, man. I heard a guy on the radio today, and I think he speaks what New York fans are saying. They don't want them messing up what New York is doing right now, bro. I remember, I'm being honest with you. I mean, if he comes 5-4 years, we'll talk about it then. But I remember when the trading deadline came, all New York fans were like holding their breath. Because you know New York at trade deadline, they do something stupid. They're boom. They call Cleveland. They call Chicago. What you got?
Call Chicago Bulls, yeah.
What you got?
Who you got?
You got a broken leg? Okay. And we were just hoping. And it seemed once they got past the trade deadline, this team really starts to gel. And your boy, ex-Chicago Bulls is playing, coming off the bench, scoring 20 points. Coming off the bench. So it's like they like the chemistry that's built now. And they're just fond of that, man. They want them to grow and add some few pieces that aren't big pieces. And I think that's where the Knick brass is. And I think that's where basically the fans are. I'll say this in a sense that I look at Zion. I don't think he's going to stay. As long as that coach stays there when it's time for the league, he's not going to be there.
No.
He won't be there. One of the two. Yeah.
Yeah, I look at that too because you got to be icy. He's looking at the Knicks. He's looking at the Pelicans, where the Pelicans are. They're pretty much out of the playoffs. The Knicks are in the playoffs. Tibbs got that team playing defense. His boy Barrett is playing there where he played for Duke. And he was just cheesing too much for me to kind of just let the story go by, Ice. But Ice's face tells it all.
I mean, you can tell that you're a Knicks fan, boy. And he's sitting there going like, Zion is Zion he coming to save us. He coming to save us. I'm like, man, dude's still on the contract. You tampering already. Look at him. He teasing.
Zion was tampering. He was doing his own tampering.
Right, but I'm just saying, you talk about tampering, you can just tell them. And then the reporters up there saying what they saying about, ooh, okay. Now remember, Kobe loved the Mecca too. Also, LeBron loved the Mecca. They love New York. They never made it. But I'm going to say this. I'm happy for the New York Knicks fans that they are finally back to winning, and you feel a little good about it. I think they should be giving Tibbs a lot of credit for what he's doing, because when they first hired him, everybody was like, oh my God, he's going to be too hard. He's going to do this and this. But the one thing about him is when I wouldn't say this is an average group, but when he brings guys that are not a bunch of maybe superstars or not established so much yet, he has a hell of a way of getting it done. And he knows what he needs. One thing about Tibbs, he went and got his boy Derrick Rose, or I should say man, because we don't want to say that, use that word term boy. Anyway, he went and got his guy, Derrick Rose. And then what was the other guy for that from the former Bulls, the guy got the small forward that grabs all the rebounds?
Oh, Gibson.
Yeah, Gibson. He always keep him around. So those two guys he knows are going to make him play hard, and he's turned it around so far. Happy for the Knicks. Finally got a coach, somebody understands. And I think that general manager is kind of like, you know what? Hey, we're gonna work it. Whatever you want us to do, let's work it out. But I mean, I'm happy. I'm gonna talk about why I'm mad. Something else about the Knicks. But I ain't gonna spoil the treat. But I'm happy for them that people are watching, and the fans. It's been a long time. Y'all still talking about Charles Smith. Anyway,
you always mentioning Charles Smith. You know that sets me off. You really still looking for you, Charles Smith.
But I'm like, you know how long ago that was?
Yeah, I know, but that, oh man,
Damn, that's OJ, bro. We done moved.
No,
Anyway,
we should make a policy to ban that name from this show. Oh man,
that and John Starks. Anyway, but
John Starks get a pass. But anyway, come on, Zion, come on. Don't sign that. Don't sign with the Pelicans. They ain't gonna be anything. Get away from that country town with that women's softball name. Come to the Knicks. Come to the Mecca, baby. You can play there 42 games plus in the playoffs. Anyway, we're gonna go to NFL news. Alex Smith retires. Jordan Reed, the tight end, retires. And Patrick Peterson signs with the Vikings after 10 years with the Cardinals, Black. And then here's another story. You can tackle any story you want on all of these stories. Is Philly making a mistake not giving Jalen Hurts the starting lineup and said, we're rolling with this dude right now? I think it's a mistake. But
no, I don't think so. And I say this because what does he prove, bro? This is a new coach, new regime. He needs to come in and realize in training camp, you got to get it done. I don't know you. I'm more than likely he will be the starter when the day starts. Don't get me wrong, but he needs to come in and prove himself. And he was kind of the favorite. And I like Jalen Rose, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he doesn't deserve the job, but he was kind of the favorite based on how bad Wentz played last year. You know what I mean? And when he went in, he played okay. But I don't think it's wrong for this coach to come in and say, you know what? We're going to start from ground zero and work yourself up. I'm just going to say this, man, about Alex Smith. I don't care how long he played, bro. That quarterback, he was a bust in the NFL. I mean, I'm just going to say what it is. He was drafted number one. If you look at Aaron Rodgers' set, they had to take Aaron Rodgers and put him in the green room. And look at the career that they both had. He was basically kicked out of San Fran by Colin Kaepernick. He was kicked out of Kansas City by Mahomes. I'm tired of people treating this guy. Here it is again. A white quarterback that plays for a long period of time. I won't be surprised to try to put him in the Hall of Fame. Let's be honest. His career was nothing special. He had 17 operations on his leg to go back on the field. Okay, let's move on. Because when he was on the field, he didn't get it done. He couldn't throw down the field consistently. He didn't have an arm to get it down the field. His hand wasn't big enough to grip the ball. So don't give me this story now. He's some great guy, whatever the case may be. I don't want to hear it. Come to the play in the game, he didn't get it done. So that's why I'm going to leave that one there. I know it's funny because I know Reed's brother, and it was a guy in Connecticut. He talked about his brother's injuries. I'm just hoping that because really his retirement due to concussions.
Yes.
He didn't want to play anymore. And I'm just hoping that they're not that severe and that bad because that brother he was a sharp tight end. And I think he could have done more in his career if he was on a better team and didn't have some of the injuries. So that I go with that. Peterson, come on, bro. He said he want to play in a team that has a chance of winning. That ain't Minnesota. You want to play in a team that's going to pay you, bro. Let's just say that. You want to play in a team because Minnesota ain't got no chance win the Super Bowl next year. Not with that quarterback and that head coach. Let's keep it real. Like Iceman said, real talk.
We ain't even. Why you mad, sir? And you just come out and lazy.
Minnesota, we gonna win the championship. Get out of here, man. I want to play for a contender. All right, you picked a good one.
All right, Alex Smith and Jordan Reed retires, and Black mentioned he said, can't do it anymore physically due to the concussions, things of that sort. Patrick Peterson, after 10 years, he was like a mainstay with the Cardinals, and he moves on to the Vikings. And Jalen Hurts, they said, hey, we're not naming a starting quarterback, Ice.
Yeah, let me start with Jalen Hurts. First of all, actually, I think he's been done a favor. He didn't realize he does not realize this just yet. But if you got to read through the tea leaves and see what's going on, Philadelphia has a brand new coach, does not have a lot of experience, and a lot of people were kind of questioning if he was the right selection. He might prove to be the guy, but he's working his way through some things. And truthfully, if you Jalen Hurts, even though you want to start, you might want to feel this guy out to see what he's doing. Does he know what the hell is going on? Because you can get hurt. If you don't had this done right, the guys are not blocking, he can get hurt. So if I'm him, I'm thinking, hey, maybe I'm going to sit back and watch. So when it's time for me to rise up and take the starting position, so be it. But imagine just being chased for a long time with no protection and with a coach that really doesn't know what's
True.
going on. So
True.
about right now, I mean, he's in the best place just to sit and watch somebody else. And if they are a veteran and they're taking the beatings, let them have it, man, and kind of do what you did with Wentz and wait your turn. It'll come for him. Uh, Looking at Reed, the tight end, great tight end, top notch for years. I'm again happy that another athlete is seeing what's going on with their life and deciding I want to worry about my medical situation and my health more than I am about football because we keep hearing the stories, and then some people might say, "Oh, he's soft." Ain't nothing soft about this, bro. We've seen too many cases about concussion protocol and guys literally just saying they can't take it. They can't take it, and they literally would rather die than live with this pain. So the fact that he's taking time for himself to be healthy and try to get healthy, I hope this works out for him, and he's done it early enough where he can really get some help. Alex Smith is Alex Smith, right? So you talk about Alex Smith, wasn't the greatest quarterback. He had a few moments, but then again, I got to go back to to Alex Smith, and I think Alex Smith. I'm not gonna give him a pass, but he needs a little. You need to give him a little love for that. The season was the 14th season with your boy Cully. when he did that no touchdowns, they didn't throw any touchdowns to the wide receivers. When you got somebody working against you, a coach, and you can't throw a pass to a wide touchdown to a wide receiver the whole damn season, yeah, man, it ain't in the cards for you. So I know Andy Reid is trying to do what was trying to help him out, but nah, man. Yeah, I mean, anybody that plays in that league, I'm gonna give him love. I ain't gonna say he's never gonna be a Hall of Famer, but he may not even make the their hall for each the teams. But hey, he came back from a horrific injury. They gave him the comeback player of the year, and he's able to walk away. I'm glad he didn't try to keep playing. I think he saw it on the wall, walk away, count your money, play with your kids, heal up. Black Thor don't think he was that good at all. But you know what? Anybody that played that long, I'm gonna give him love because it's hey, that's a man's league, and I'm gonna leave that there. Patrick Peterson, hey, I ain't mad at you. If I was him, I think I might have thought about staying, but it was about the money because we know the Cardinals are gonna be better, I think, than Minnesota. So
Yeah.
with that being said, because they're growing and they got some other things happening, and maybe you went for the money, but you got to say the right thing. We know how that is. You got to want people to feel good when they sign that check, and then you go home like, man, damn, I wish we was back in Arizona.
Arizona's putting together a hell of a team. So
right. But you go home, you go like this, but then the wife go, but baby, that's a nice check. Well, what? I don't want to live in Minnesota. You ain't got to worry about it. I live in the all season. I get an apartment. You can stay at home in Arizona, and I'll come back home when I need to. But yeah, I mean, it's all about the game. And hey, he gotta say the right thing, and maybe he is going to be helpful to them. If he is going to be the main cog for them on their defense, they in trouble because he lost a lot over the last few years.
10 years, yeah.
Yeah. So hey, Minnesota desperate, so they do what they do. Like you say, one man's garbage is another man's treasure. So let it roll. Good luck, brother. Count them.
They play a lot of zone because there's some fast receivers coming out. And he used to get toasted
Toast.
often.
Wheat bread toast.
Hey, you know
So
what?
I'm gonna bread toast. I want to comment about we're talking about Jordan Reed and what I want to piggyback on something I said. I don't think we covered this, and it kind of just hit the news media, the sports TV really didn't talk about it at all. But a couple of weeks ago, there's a cat that basically, remember, and I think it was in North Carolina, murdered a doctor,
Yes.
his family, and then turned a gun on himself. There was a couple of reports came out that he was dealing with concussions, and his doctor took him off the medication. So when you hear these cats saying, you know what? I mean, that's the thing. That's what I was saying about Reed, man, because it's like, and that story just kind of just like went away. Yeah, and that cat was in his early 30s, mid 30s. He didn't play that long, but I know he played for the 49ers for a short period of time, but it's an ugly picture, bro. Ugly picture.
Yeah, it is. Hopefully he does well after football, and everybody who retires and has that issue do well because it's a serious. I'm watching documentaries about that, and that's no joke. That is no joke. And maybe a lot of us who wanted to be football players who never became football players maybe dodged the bullet, or it was a divine delay that we didn't. Ice Water, let's go to your Major League Baseball report. And I told you this over the phone a couple of days ago that there are two teams that the Yankees cannot beat. It's Tampa Bay and Toronto. But now I texted my pop yesterday when they were playing the Braves, and I said the Yankees stink, and he said, "Well, it's smelling good on this side." So he has no love for the Yankees and what they're going through, and he's happy because his Dodgers are doing well. Your baseball report.
Yeah, well, no doubt about it. That's how it is. But particularly with the Yankees being in last place in the AL East, a lot of people are really either you loving it or you hating it. Depends on where you're at and what team that you like. In the AL East, you have Boston in first place, and your one of the favorite teams that you just talked about, Tampa Bay Rays, are in second place in the AL East, making it happen. In the Central, we have Kansas City. It's kind of crazy over there. Baseball is kind of, I wouldn't say it's bad, but they're not playing great baseball right now.
Not
Kansas
in the
City,
Central, no.
yeah, they're 10-7, and you have a 10-7 record, and you're in first place. That says a lot about the division in itself. In the West, Oakland is leading over there in the American League West. In the National League East, the Mets are 7-6.
They're in first place.
Yeah, the hell. I mean, that's ugly baseball. I mean, you can't win any more games than that. Philadelphia is second place. They're 9-9. Kind of makes you wonder as to, and why am I watching it? That's why I'm watching the playoffs. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, to the Central, we'll go with Milwaukee is 11-7, and the Reds were running away with it for a little bit, and now they're in second place. And guess what? They're 9-9, 500. Ugly baseball. Yeah, ugly baseball. And you mentioned about the Dodgers in the National League West. They're, of course, they're running away 14-4. And Mr. Price is doing this thing in the bullpen. They are so loaded. It's just
Yeah,
so
it's
kind of like watching Brooklyn in basketball right now. They had when I was looking at their lineup the other day, there was everybody over there. Every other dude was an all-star. I'm like, damn. And it took y'all this long to get it together. Every other dude is an all-star. They got them from somewhere else. San Francisco is making a run in that division as well. They're 11-7. They started off real slow, but they're starting to make a move up the ladder. But it's still real early. Like I said, the only thing that's must see for me right now is Tatis Jr. that's coming back from injury with San Diego, and my buddy Otani with those Angels. Man, that dude is must see TV. You want to see real baseball? Anybody that can throw a 92-mile fastball, striking people out, and hit a grand slam home run just because he's just that damn good. That dude is the truth, man. I love his game. So I watch anytime I'm trying to check the schedule to make sure I'm going to be able to watch him anytime that he's pitching or playing. Period, because he's a treat to watch.
One of the things that I'm going to petition before I go to Black in the WNBA report is to get Ozzie Guillen back as a manager. One of these teams pick him up as a manager. You need Ozzie Guillen to get you back into contention. Any team that's below 500, get him back into becoming a manager. I saw him on there's a show that Fox does with the Big Hurt, and he was interviewing Ozzie Guillen, and Ozzie Guillen was like, you know what? In this day and age, you can't tell the truth because that gets you fired. So we need a manager that's going to tell the truth, that's going to be himself, and get these teams. I'm thinking it can't be the White Sox now because they got their manager all set. But some of these teams that are struggling and the manager is not doing too well, get Ozzie Guillen back in that manager role.
They cannot handle Ozzie Guillen, man. You know that. Ozzie a little bit on the wild side, bro.
Yeah,
you know?
but he's the right. He is one of those guys that will get a team. If you're not playing well, then Ozzie gonna get on you. He gonna let you know.
I no doubt he will, but then you got to worry about him after hours. That's
one quick story. When he accepted the position at the White Sox, he had spent the night before. He didn't know he was going to have an interview. The night before, drinking and doing all kind of stuff. So he said he don't even remember the interview. They flew him out to Chicago. Those are the kind of characters you need in baseball. But got the job and did real well with White Sox. Black, I know the draft and the WNBA was last week. what are some of the notes that you have on the WNBA, man, and some of the surprises that you see, and what do you expect that will happen with some of these teams picking up these some of these great players out of college?
But it almost seemed like some teams that have basically always kind of been around kind of did well. Minnesota Lynx had a good draft. LA Sparks had a good draft. Chicago Sky was kind of, haven't been grateful, off and on, but a good draft. But the Dallas Wings really did well. They had pick 1 and 2, and they came out with Shakira Kohler, and they drafted international player, a week Kerr, I believe her name is. She's from France, if I'm not mistaken. And there was a couple of players that went in the first round that were international. Shayla Hill from Australia and Layla Rupert, I believe. She's from France. So they kind of bounced around a little bit. It's going to be a little interesting because some of these draft picks, of course, it takes a while for them kind of merge into the league. But it almost seemed like some of the players now, I remember that Phoenix has some players. I can't think of her name right now. Ex-UConn woman, in a sense. Seemed like she's kind of hanging around, and it seemed like some of the old guns are kind of still sticking around. We know Candace Parker went to Chicago. Taurasi, yes. I think it's time for her to move on.
Wow.
But I think what's happening, some of the old guns are kind of sticking around, and they're kind of basically trying to mesh the two. But I think it's time for a new influx. And what's going to happen, in my opinion, some of the style of play is going to come down for a little while before it goes back up because there's new talent coming in. But there's a lot of new between the last couple of years and this year here of the draft. A lot of good young players are coming in, but it's going to take a while to really see them because some of the old guns are starting to hang around. And I think the league needs them to move on, but they don't want to.
So you're speaking of like the old heads like Sue Bird, Taurasi,
yes.
Candace Parker.
Yes, I love Candace, but I just think it's time, in a sense, to kind of basically, because you look at realistically, and I know we talked about her, Maya Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Maya Moore, before she left off, and I'm not saying Candace Parker game is starting to dwindle at all, but Maya Moore, before she left, her game was starting to kind of slide down in a sense. Right. And, like anything else, you have a time period or a time frame where you can play. But when they hang around, you give less time and space for these younger players to develop and kind of get out there. And I think the league need these younger faces to kind of bring in, maybe attract new viewers.
Yeah, I see that. I'm going to be looking forward to watching the Chicago Sky with Parker and see what they do because they've been an up and coming team in the last couple of seasons. So I want to see, and I know you shaking your head like you trying to make trips to Chicago.
It's a possibility, man. I've been trying to drink and show together on anyway, so this might be the opportunity here. But I'm going to say that speaking of Candace Parker, man, we talked about a couple of times how TNT needs to move away from Charles Barkley. Well, they ain't moved totally away from Charles Barkley. But bringing Candace Parker on with Shaq and Dwayne Wade on Tuesday nights is one of the best moves they made in a long time. Because Shaq is more of a commentator when Charles Barkley's not out there. Shaq says some really strong things when she's out there, and they go back and forth, they got it going on. But you learn something, you hear something intelligent, as opposed to when Charles is out there, it's just all dummy down. So I like the fact that they put them on Tuesday night. You kind of still got Charles Barkley on Thursday if you want to watch him, but I love the fact how they moved her into Thursday with Dwayne Wade. And congratulations to him because that cat, forgot what he's buying, but he's buying something.
Utah Jazz.
Utah Jazz, there it is, bro.
Ownership in Utah Jazz.
Yes.
Congrats to that. Mm-hmm. And players moving into ownership. Ice, I know you said you've been holding this from the beginning of the show. Why are you mad, son?
So here's the thing. I'm mad because I think I was going to exercise in the afternoon. I think it was Sunday afternoon. And I usually turn my radio on just to kind of hear what's going on. Sometimes I listen to ESPN radio. So I'm preparing to listen. And I think they had a game on. And the game comes on, and I'm like, and they said, well, it is the New Orleans Pelicans versus the New York Knicks. I said, what the hell is the Knicks doing on national radio? And I'm listening, and they, oh, yeah, this is a great game. Not like the great Knicks franchise and the Knicks this and the Knicks that. I said, what the hell have I been asleep? And then it dawned on me as I was exercising, and then I was finishing up and coming home and catching the last of the game or getting closer to home. And I'm like, if it's on ESPN radio, that means this bullshit is on national TV. I said, man, I am so glad I'm out exercising outdoors in the fresh air because they were pumping this up like this was game 7 of the damn NBA championship. I said, the way they was talking, I said, I'm glad. The only thing that would have made me a little happier, and I'm not hating on Knicks fans, but I was like, when the hell did Knicks become must-see TV? I said, they need to have this like back in the day on tape delay, so you don't have to see it if you don't want to. I said, man, are you kidding me? Must see TV and must be on the radio as well. I was like, man, what the hell? I know did it what 7, 8 games straight? You know what? But New York, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna get off of it real quick. I ain't mad at y'all in New York. Y'all like real quick things, you know. That's that Jeremy Lin thing lasts about 8 games, didn't it? Y'all get so excited, y'all run with something like it's gonna be the second coming. But much love to Tibbs though, because that's my man. I like him a lot. So good luck. But that caught me by surprise. That's why I was, what the hell is the Knicks doing on national anything? Unless somebody's in trouble or somebody getting fired.
Ooh, didn't know there was so much hate for the Knicks on this show. Oh my goodness.
They hate it. It's like, why?
Black, why you mad, son? You know, I'm not mad. This is kind of like a public service announcement. I saw Dak Prescott and his girlfriend a while ago.
Oh my God.
All I can say is that when Dak wasn't making this type of money, I didn't know Dak had a girlfriend. All of a sudden now, you got guaranteed $75 million, and you standing next to Becky, whoever. Fellas, be careful. Money brings them out of work, bro. Just be careful. That's all I'm saying. Big announcement. For the past 3 or 4 years, did you ever see Dak with a picture with a woman? He's too busy. You know, all of a sudden now you stand there, you know. Just be careful, my brother. Public service announcement. That's what I'm saying. Be careful.
Well, at least it ain't 22 of them.
And when you mentioned about that 22, all I'm gonna say is this: it's 2 teams that still want to make a trade for him. The Dolphins are one.
Really?
Man, I try to tell you, hell yeah, man.
I was saying that to a cat today, man.
Dude.
As soon as it start to clear up, he's gonna be in another jersey.
Hey, I'm trying to tell you.
Nothing's gonna pick him up.
I told you early on, they ain't said nothing about sexual assault. They said misconduct. Big difference. They ain't said nothing about rape. Trying to tell you, Dolphins like, well, we're gonna be cool for a minute, but he's still available.
I don't think it's gonna happen this year though, but I do think next year, when things start to kind of clear out, he will be starting quarterback for somebody else. He won't be in Houston, but his career is not over. Sad to say, but because they really can't. Even his lawyer has basically pulled back and says there's nothing criminal here. So with all that talk, and their lawyers, I should say, pull back on the part of being criminal. So it's basically gonna come down to he say, she say, and if he sticks to his guns and don't have to, and doesn't smear, but I think in the process he smeared a lot publicly, but it's gonna be a team in a year or two that's gonna allow him to play, bro.
Hey man, like I said, I don't know what he did, but all I know is when it comes down to it, it's a lot worse situations. And you got to be honest how the NFL works, how they see it. I'm not saying these women don't deserve anything or whatever he did, but you'll never hear nobody else saying certain things. So if it's all civil and ain't nobody really trying to take him down, they're gonna put him in this place, set him down, and you're gonna have to pay some cash. But he shall return. He shall return. But he also got to stick to maybe a couple of masseuses, some people that's really down for that, or get you something to work with.
You know the ironic thing is, he had 18 other women come and vouch for him.
Yeah,
this cat was pissed.
So the question is to you, that's 40 women in between, maybe the 20, and I ain't gonna say this anyway, help me. I need help. Look, I'm just saying, maybe is there a problem, allegedly, that people were upset that they didn't get paid a certain amount of money? Because they did say one woman said during her birthday, he promised her a certain amount of money, and she got $300 and she had an issue. I wonder what list she's on. Dude, it's just, huh?
$300. How much does a massage cost?
Dude, hey, come on now. Like you said though, man, look, the $300 to him is what? Nothing. She wanted more. She probably wanted $1,500 for her birthday and extras.
AB just settled his lawsuit, and I guess Tampa Bay, he wants to get signed with Tampa Bay again. So he was like, "Bump this! I'm not going through all that. I'm just gonna settle and get this out the way."
And you notice with that too, out of all the people, I mean, 22 is a lot or whatever it may be, but AB had a lot of other stuff going on. AB got a ring, bro.
Yeah.
He straightened up at the right time. He got the right people behind him, and he got a ring.
Because I didn't think he was going to be in football anymore, to be honest.
I don't want to compare apples and oranges. All I'm saying is, dude straightened up, got the right people behind him, and he got a ring, and he want to play again. So all that drama and all that going on too. So it'll be interesting to see what the NFL does, because we make all this hoopla and all this stuff is out here, and then sometimes the NFL just kind of lays down and it just kind of pay them and keep it moving, which is really sad, but we'll see what they do.
Okay. Yeah, the devil's in the details, especially if the NFL gets involved. They'll be behind the scenes doing whatever. You can get Ben Roethlisberger back on the team playing football, and nobody even mentions what he did. I'm pretty sure they could do something for Watson. There's another. What do you say?
I say, speaking of Ben, man, I was surprised that the Steelers extended Tomlin for 3 years, bro. I'm happy for him, but I was surprised with that one. That one surprised me.
Yeah,
that came out of nowhere. That one surprised me, bro.
If it would have been a lifetime,
best team in the world.
Yeah. There's another story that I thought was very interesting, and I haven't heard too much about. Justin Fields, he revealed that he manages epilepsy. I didn't know if people outside of the Ohio State family knew about that, but it seemed like he's being honest to the NFL teams before the draft. Will this hurt his chances of being in the first round?
I'm not sure if it's going to hurt him being in the first round, but I think it's going to hurt him being a top pick. And I think that's sad because he's told them because he wanted to be straight up and honest. This is something he's dealt with since he was a kid. And they said that nobody, if he never would have said anything unless they looked for it, they would not have found it. He's controlled it. He's taken medicine, and he's played football. He's never missed any time. And he was at Ohio State. He had it, and he's been managing it as part of things that I think it might be a hereditary in his family or one that runs in his family. But there's a chance that he could grow out of it too. So it'll be interesting to see. You had I think was it Alex Faneca, the center or lineman that had the same condition and was an all-pro, played all the years, never had any issue with him, any problem. So I think it's going to hurt him because stuff like that, people not sure if he's getting how will he be affected if he gets a concussion. What will happen there as far as the medical treatment, but he'll probably fall a little bit more. But I think he's worth taking a chance on because I think he's just a better quarterback than others. But kudos to him where he told the truth. But again, I'll say this, and I'm not saying he should have lied because eventually would have probably came out. When you tell the truth, people look at you kind of funny. Ask Randy Moss. Anyway, Randy said, "Do you smoke, Randy?" Yeah. Oh, hell no. We got to let you go, Dallas. Anyway, moving on.
Will this hurt him or help him, Black?
I don't think it's going to hurt him. I don't think so. I think a team that had a beat on him already, which I think is San Fran. Some people think San Fran's going with Mac Jones. I think that'd be a huge mistake. I'm just being honest with you. I just do. You don't, in my opinion, you don't schedule a second day workout with this young man if you ain't serious about him. And like I said, Faneca played with it. I don't think that what he could do on the field, you can live with it, bro. I don't think it's gonna hurt him. I think now if you weren't considering him highly, you weren't. But I'm thinking the 49ers, either they got a beat on him or that other quarterback, Trey Lane, because they moved up. But I will say this, if he gets past the 49ers, I would not be surprised. Miami Dolphins take him, bro. They want a quarterback. Quiet as it said, they're not happy. I don't think they're happy with Tua. So if he makes it down to 6, I don't think he's dropping below 6, bro. I just don't see it happening. I don't think it's going to happen.
I also hear that the Pittsburgh Steelers are looking at Etienne from Clemson, the running back, and that's why they probably let go of Connors.
Yeah.
They already have a running back, bro. They got a running back that played, what did he play with the year before? He wasn't bad. He actually is tougher than Connor, so I can see where they let Connor go. Connor never proved to be a Pittsburgh Steelers running back, bro. He just didn't. But I think still, as far as the running game, is pretty cool. It's just that you got that old stick back there as a quarterback, man, and a coach that hate to put him in check. I mean, Tomlin reminds me of the way that what's the name was with Eli. They can do anything wrong and they turn their head and look the other way. And it's like you can't be that with a quarterback. I don't care what they did previously. When they screw up, you gotta let them know. And that's how Ben has been treated.
One more tidbit about Fields. Fields a little tricky, man. He knows the game. I hope he does well. I think he will do well. Getting ready for the second workout, they found out that there's certain things that San Francisco likes to do. Part of that is the way that the quarterback has his legs set up when he starts to drop back. So for the longest time, Fields, when he played at Ohio State, his back leg before he would drop back was his left leg, right? Come to find out that San Francisco is big on the quarterback having the right leg back. So when he went to the second workout, he had that right leg back, man. And started flinging that rock, bro. They said he was doing little nuances he included to let them know that if you pick me, I can not only run your playbook, I can run your team, but I can do whatever you need me to do without saying a word. That's a really dedicated guy, man. And I wish him the best. I think he's going to surprise a lot of people. So sleep on him. Sleep on him so much that a team that will move up to like number 10, like New England Patriots, right? To give them a little something going, and you'll be surprised. Like with Belichick and some that offensive line and some getting some receivers and some run, man. Anyway, you better not do that.
Yeah, that's attention to detail. That's saying a lot. We didn't have boxing last week, so
you didn't have boxing in 10 years, brother.
No, there was no boxing last week. There were exhibitions, but there were no boxing last week.
Can I say this? Yeah. I read something real quick. When they were talking about these YouTube people, whatever, somebody that is very well known in boxing came out and says, "Stop calling this boxing." So I'm not by myself. They recognize that it's entertainment. Somebody else said that, and they were like, "It's entertainment." So I'm not alone, Puma. I know how you feeling. And Black Thornton gave up on boxing hell since Ron Lyle retired. That was
So there was no boxing last week. So we'll go straight to the questions from the squad. Black, what's your first question?
I'm looking at the San Antonio Spurs, man. And somebody got to tell Pop it's time to retire. Am I way off with this?
Ice?
Yeah, you can say that, but they're not gonna tell him that. He like Tom Landry, man. You gonna have to literally force him.
Get a new owner and force him out. Yeah,
you gotta force him out because he's gonna look what all I did for your franchise. I made this popular, but no, I mean, I don't know why he's hanging around. Somebody probably had just tell him, whisper in his ear, hey, from his family, go ahead and walk away. But if you bring somebody else, are they gonna be any better? Look at their talent. Yeah, I mean, how much more better are they gonna be? That's my only thing. I think if they do make a change, they need to go ahead and get somebody brand new and start a brand new system. Because I don't think you can come in and try to do what Pop did. That was Pop's system. Pop did it well. You try to come in and try to if you don't reinvent the team, then you're just gonna get more people to criticize him. But I don't think he's gonna walk away till he's ready. And I don't think they're gonna force him out unless they get so bad that they can't win any games. I don't know if they reached that point yet.
Yeah, I mean, they're still competing, even with the talent they have. And so I can't see the San Antonio Spurs brass pushing him out or, firing him or anything like that. I think they're just going to let him go out when he wants to go out. And it seems like they have a lot of trust in him and his decision-making and his judgment. So, Pop, if he wants to be there for a while, he's going to be there for a while. If he decides to retire tomorrow, he'll do that and put in his successor. But just can't get rid of some people like that unless he does something real kind of bonehead. They're going to keep Pop around. Black.
Yeah, I agree. He earned the right to go out when he's ready, but that readiness should be now because he's holding that franchise back, bro. I mean, it really is. I understand you want to bring someone. If not, just let Becky Hammond take over, bro. I think they need a younger voice. This younger generation, They don't care about what you did 20, 30 years ago. They don't respect that, bro. They respect what you're doing now. And I don't think he can communicate with the younger players like he once did with other players. And that being hard, like on Tony Parker, you can't do that with these cats now without without them basically, I want to call my agent, I want to be traded, put me in a trade portal. So it's like it's a totally different game now, bro. So I think that if anything, he should go upstairs. If they, I say got to fire him, but just step off the court and allow someone else to do it. Someone on the sideline that's been there for a while, you trust. And I would say it's Becky Hammond. Give her an opportunity. And because when she was doing the summer league, the players basically they focused in on her, bro. They really focused. They gave her opportunity, and I just don't think they're buying into him anymore. You're right. They're playing hard, but they're not buying in.
Ice, the question.
Question is, what do you think? We found out that the Dallas Mavericks fired one of their executives in regards to a sexual assault allegation, and they knew about this allegation a long time ago, a while back, and that it's kind of played it like, oh, no big deal, or we're just going to wait till we find out more. And then all of a sudden, when it got more intense, they found out more information. Then Mark Cuban fires this guy, but he was still working up until that point. So, what are your thoughts?
Black.
I think the NBA need to find the Mavericks heavily, not lightly, because they had a big problem with this for years, man. And to think that it's still going on, like you said, this wasn't reported kind of, they need to come in and basically find them and make an example out of them. Because for some reason they don't get it. They don't get it. Mark Cuban can talk about the play-in, but he's not manning his ship. Maybe you need to get off that show, whoever trying to invent the next P wheel or something and pay attention to the organization, bro.
Shark Tank.
Yeah, Shark Tank. Get off that show because for some reason you just that organization doesn't get it. And it starts and ends with him. It really does. So the NBA really, this one they really need to knock out the park, a severe fine, not based on what he did, because it's just based on the history that they're the only franchise that you keep hearing popping up in the NBA that just don't understand it for whatever reason, don't get it.
Yeah, I don't think that they're the only ones, and a lot of people maybe be, holding this, away from the press and things of that sort. But I do agree that they should be fined heavily. In this day and time, there is no excuse at this particular time to have that in your organization and trying to hold it off and trying to buy your time, that it'll blow over, things of that sort. In this day and age, it can't happen. So yeah, they need to be fined. He needs to be held accountable, and any other NBA team, because the Knicks had this going on for a while with Isaiah Thomas and the situation there. There have been other, I'm pretty sure there are other franchises that do the same thing, but their business is not out there, and people are keeping it under wraps. So if you are doing this in this day and time, the NBA should really come out strong and say, if we find that your organization has been an accomplice to this, then we are going to fine you heavily. Fine you heavily. Ice.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. It comes down to the factor that if you know something more than anything, the guy should have been suspended, right? Or at least put on a suspension without pay. But now all of a sudden you want to hurry up and fire him, and you still have people working in the building that may have feel threatened by him, or he just might have been guilty. It's just amazing how they had a knee jerk reaction to it after more information came in. Like it was no big deal at all from the start. It's almost like they didn't believe the ladies that made the allegation. But yeah, it's sad. It's coming down to that point where the NBA realizes that um, you have to take these things seriously now, because the way that the media is treating it, small conversations turned into big things, and people started investigating. Before you know it, you got 22 people accusing you of something.
Yeah. Because the NFL has a problem with this. All different sports have a problem with this. Black, you got another question?
The problem is this because they don't do anything about it, bro.
Yeah.
That's why it continues. They really do nothing. Even had a big problem in Dallas last time they looked the other way. I noticed this, man. It seemed like betting. I mean, it was like taboo before. You don't really talk about in different sports, but it has gone hog wild with all type of bettings and push and everything. I mean, you got FanDuel now coming on during a game line getting out for a chance to win 10,000. What the hell is going on, bro? I mean, I got my own understanding, but what is going on? It's like there's no line that can be crossed now. There's none when it comes to betting, in my opinion.
I think I asked Ice this offline a few weeks ago. Ice, what's your thought?
Man, look, you want to come, like you say, you want to come to the you want to come to the mountain is coming to you. It's the worst thing ever. I've been known to place a better to myself from time to time, but I always waited, like even with horse racing, I would go to Las Vegas to do it, right? But man, this thing is off the chain. The states around the country understand now how many people are actually betting on games. You look at March Madness and stuff like that too, that they're opening the door, and the states know how much money they can make. So now the casinos and are excited, and now the states are like, look at this free revenue. We don't have to do anything. It's not like it's bookies and nothing like that, or no gangsters or nothing. We're just having people go up, put them go into a booth, put in their information, grab their ticket, and move on. You think about it. This is how it rolls. Start out with New Jersey, right up in there. They're doing their thing. Of course, Las Vegas. Now the Midwest is about to be open. You got to, I don't know if it's Illinois yet. Not yet.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Illinois, you can bet Illinois. Michigan, now you can bet. You can go to Detroit, bet at the MGM Grand. Ohio was very close. It is so much money involved where you can bet on any daggone thing legally, because before people would have to bet offshore accounts. You got to go online and bet and do all this other crazy stuff. But now, instead of finding a bookie or something like that too, it is so much untapped money, so many people that want to bet. And then you open the door even more with these casinos where they can show the games and people can bet even more. Man, you got untapped funds for these states that don't have to do anything but just set it up. So that's why it's going crazy, man. It's like weed, bro. Seriously, people sitting there going like, damn, I got to call JoJo. JoJo, man, come in the back, man. Come in the back, y'all. Come in the back. Now you ain't got to go see JoJo no more. Like my man said, you press F6 and you place JoJo because you can buy weed. Same thing with this gambling thing. It's untapped funds, easy money, and that's why you're seeing it, to me, along with the people that love, because of the factor that people love sports, but it's an easier way to gamble now. Now you can grab your phone and, oh, I'm good. You need to go talk. No, I'm good. Right there. This makes it easier. And then you go to the casino. Imagine, real quick, imagine NFL football Sunday. Columbus, Ohio. We got 2 football teams in the NFL. People are watching all the games, Browns or whatever. Now you can go to the casino, watch the games, bet, drink, spend all this money, or you can go on your phone. Man, woo! And then, of course, they're going to say, well, a portion of these funds will be going to the educational program to better serve our schools. That's how you get away with it.
Gamblers, you have a gambling problem.
Yeah.
1-800, I need help, motherfucker.
Pay my bills. I during the football season, I downloaded a Fox Bet Super 6 to take Terry Bradshaw's money. And I keep getting text messages and messages from this thing about who's going to win the Masked Singer, any and everything other than sport. So I guess they know people, need money, and they're just wide open with it. I mean, just wide open, like talk shows, or who's going to win the NASCAR. I don't know nothing about NASCAR. Anything that you're willing to bet, and they let you do it for free. Just bet. And then if you bet $1, then you'll get $100. And I'm like, man, this is a sucker's bet right here, because now they're gonna have all my information. Now, I might get a Jones, I might hit one time, and then I'm chasing that high. From then on, I'm like, oh no, I can't get in this. So I'm looking at it now. I'm about to erase it from my phone, because it's like, who's gonna win, America's Idol, all this other stuff, man. It's just crazy. And I think it is opening up for folks, not only to make a money revenue for the states, but to get a whole lot of people who didn't know they had a gambling problem, getting them into gambling. in trouble, because if you can't pay that money back, or you're stealing, you're robbing Peter and Paul to pay somebody else, then you're going to be in trouble. And so I don't know if there are any bookies or guys that'll break fingers and arms during this process, but I just see it to be big, big trouble, especially when the NFL's in it now. They're in it, and they seem like they're not going to get away from it. They know there's a money stream they can make, and a lot of money they can make in it. I knew that when they moved to Las Vegas, the Raiders, I knew it was going to be trouble. But I'm just sitting back and waiting for this, because it's going to get really scandalous. And I wouldn't be surprised years on down the line that they find out some of these games weren't on the up and up because gambling thing has gotten so big. Black?
But that was always the biggest NFL fear. But we look at FanDuel and some of these places. Some of these teams own them, bro.
Yeah.
They own them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the strangest thing. It's like you worried about these teams, what's going to be funny, but they own them. And I remember a few years ago, I think it was New York. It was a few states that were basically telling FanDuel, whatever, you can't even be in our state. Well, guess what? Now they're in it. They're back in it, man. So it's like it's amazing. But you touched on something very interesting. The vulnerable are gonna get eaten alive, bro.
Yeah.
They're gonna get eaten alive, and they don't care. Like, it's new streams of revenue, and they just don't care. And Fox had a show on about betting everything at night, a game. But it's like, it was a 30-minute show, and it's like, if you're not educated in betting, it educates you. It does. And it's like, it's making it too simple, man. So casinos are kind of in trouble a little bit, because nobody can go there now anyway, for the most part. But here again, casinos been doing it for years. It's a whole new landscape now, bro. A whole new landscape. My thing is, lock your wallet, lock your purse. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I mean, if you can make a quick 100 off $1,
you're okay.
It's like that game out in the street.
but really think about it this way. You mentioned about FanDuel, all right? But the NFL was like, why the hell will we let another company make money off our product? So now FanDuel and all the other ones had to pay a fee. They got to pay them a certain amount of money to even exist, use their product. Now they're wide open. They get all the names, they get all the information they need. But yeah, I mean, for years they were just doing it and nobody said anything. The NFL was like, the hell with that. Yeah, you can do that. We can have a team in Las Vegas, all this stuff, but we want our money. So they're getting their money. They're getting paid now, finally, off of that.
Yeah. Ice, you get the last question.
All right, the last question is, we've been talking about this forever. The Milwaukee Bucks. They have Giannis Antetokounmpo. We have Holiday. We got Middleton, DiVincenzo. Are they this year a legitimate, or will they be a legitimate contender for the NBA championship?
Black?
I'll say this. They're continuing to get there, because I don't trust Philly. I don't think Brooklyn's going to put it together, bro. I just don't think they will. I think it's nice. It's all, dressing, and it's a fantasy. It's a fantasy with Brooklyn. But I don't think they're going to be able to put it together. So that opens the door for them to get there. And will they beat the team that's there? I'm not sure. But if they don't go this year, they're in trouble. I just don't see it. This is their year to go. Because quietly, I think the door is open for them. I just think it is. It's wide open for them in the East. There's no other better team out there that's constructed than Milwaukee Bucks. So I don't think Philly can hang with them. I don't think Brooklyn's going to be able to kind of put anything together. So they're right there at 3. They should be able to run away with it easily. But we know this coach, he reminds me of Peyton Manning. He gets to the playoffs, and Doc Rivers, he just can't get it done. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm looking at Boston. That may be a tough series for Milwaukee to get by if they draw Boston or Miami, one of those teams. But I alluded earlier. I call KD LA light in the ass because he get hit in the thigh. He out for I don't know how long. The team can't get it. They can't get it together. They can't get it together.
You can't say that, boss.
I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna say it because it's a good idea. and hopefully they can get it together. I would like to see some competitive basketball. I would like to see how they would do in the playoffs in high intensity and playing a team in a 7-game series and see if they can just pull it out every game. But I don't know. It's just something about that. The playoffs are getting a little bit closer, and you need some time to. And I know you said this earlier about gelling. Um, you do. You need that chemistry, and you need to be popping during the playoffs. Just trying to. I'm wondering about teams like Miami, Boston, Atlanta. I'm not even going to say the Knicks because it's going to be news to them. I don't know how far they're going to get this year. But Philly, they seem to me better than Milwaukee. They seem more prepared to get to the finals than Milwaukee. I just think Milwaukee's missing that one player that could take the pressure off everybody else. When that player needs to kind of excel, that player can excel and taking the pressure off Antetokounmpo and the other players they have there. I think the point guard will be beneficial because I know he plays really heady in the playoffs, but it's just they're just to me Milwaukee is the unknown right now. They weren't that way a couple of seasons ago, but now they're the unknown because we saw them in the playoffs. They got close, but no cigars. And the way they're playing in the regular season, you just never know. Ice?
Yeah, I mean, I know I joke about Milwaukee a lot, but I joke because of the fact that I don't think they have enough. You mentioned it earlier. Um, and Giannis, as great as a player as he may be in the talent and the MVP and whatnot, but when they play against certain teams where you have to really show his dog or the team you have to show it how tough it is, they come up short. I mean, you look at Miami last year, Jimmy Butler and the crew got it done. And even though it may be a great opportunity for them, I don't believe it. I do not believe it because when they start to lose ball games and it gets tight, and maybe that unless they change it this year, they go into they go in with blinders on, and that's where they start. This is their offense. Get the ball to Giannis, clear everybody out, and let him go 1-on-1. You're not gonna win that way, bro. You're not gonna win that way. He got 49 every time he gonna come up, and then you talk about and trying to be funny, but when you talk about somebody that's really playing, he always kind of find a way. He always seem kind of gimpy in the postseason. I'm just saying. So, I mean, if I'm looking at that too, he seems like he's not really healthy all the time. And there's no way in hell they're gonna win if he's not healthy. So I think there's a lot going on there. I think they're gonna have to, it's like anything else, they're gonna have to show me and prove to me that they're worthy and they can get through because there's a lot going on and they're gonna need some other people to step up. Middleton, when Giannis was out, played his butt off last year in the playoffs. When Giannis was down, he played his butt off. But you need more people. Holiday's definitely clutch, but until they prove it, I'm going to be on the outside just going, I'm going to be a naysayer. I don't think they have enough.
All right. Last second shot, Black.
Ooh, this one here, my last second shot. I'm gonna go to something I said on Black Men Talk, and I didn't get a chance to say. We did something where I did a quote, and I forgot to mention the person. That person was one Jackie Robinson on that quote, and he left a lot of great quotes behind. And like I said on the night of the show, sometimes I battle between basically baseball, the way they treated him, but at the same time, I always have to admire what he stood for, what he did. And I look around and I see so many black faces on television playing different sports. And even though it may not be basketball, they all still owe a debt of gratitude to him. Jackie Robinson, you're the man, my brother.
Ice, last second.
Yeah, normally I don't do this because I always talk about boxing. But if you are a UFC fan or MMA fan, telling you need to watch this card this Saturday, 261 Jacksonville. Now you can say what you want to, but Dana White knows what the hell is going on. He has already sold out the arena, 15,000 people strong down in Jacksonville, already sold out. They got 3 title bouts that you want to see. Kamaru Usman versus
Masvidal.
Masvidal, right? Number 2. Then you got Chris Weidman versus Uriah Hall, and then you get to watch one of my favorite fighters. She's female, but Zhang Guo is she was fighter of the year last year versus Rose and they are gonna get it in. I'm not really I don't like to say women. I want to see women fight. Puma knows that, But when you talk about throwing them hands, I think they're gonna have a top-notch card. And Dana has already sold it out, and we're not even talking about pay-per-view. So it's gonna be packed action down in Jacksonville. Might be worthwhile checking out if you're into combat sports.
Yeah, this is the card you want to watch. Black missed out on this. I'm gonna say happy belated to Candace Parker. It was her birthday, so Black don't care about you. I care about you. The other thing that I wanted to mention is about the Super League that was forming with football, or we call it soccer, and how teams are just jumping ship from this Super League. Matter of fact, this was such a big story in soccer over in Europe that the Prime Minister of Britain says, "Get your hand out my pocket. What are you trying to do?" So most of the teams in the Premier League, which is supposed to be like the #1 league in the world, pulled out. Manchester City, Liverpool, they just pulled out, saying and telling their fans, "We didn't mean it," because the fans were up in the uproar. Imagine if they created a Super League here in basketball or football here. What would be the response to that? But in soccer, they tried it. It was a great attempt at a money grab, and it failed. We'll see you next week. I didn't put the LeBron story on purpose because
Come on, bro. Why?
y'all can mention it, but
come on, man. Come on now.
He seems to somehow try to force his way into these social issues, and it ain't got nothing to do with him. I mean, he makes it about him sometimes, and I'm like, nah, man.
I said that numerous times, man. What LeBron does, and I'll say it again, he sits around, check the temperature, and what he tries to, okay, you mad about this? Okay, I'm gonna jump in so I get attention. And one of the dumbest things, because I was gonna say this later, but I'll say it now.
Yeah, you can say it.
Huh?
You can say it, yeah.
I was gonna say it later, but I'll say it now. I was watching Skip and Shannon today, and they had the nerve to say that LeBron and Kaepernick played a role in that cop being found guilty the other day. And I'm like, what are you two smoking over there? What are you two smoking? I mean, Kaepernick had nothing to do with that. That's overstating it. And I love Cap, trust me. But how do you put LeBron in that mix? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, because they think about opening up the case of I can't think of the kid that was shot in Cleveland, Tamir Rice. Until LeBron atones to that, keep his mouth shut, bro. Shut. Because he had a chance to be Kaepernick long before Kaepernick was Kaepernick and say something about social, and he ran from it like a little mouse. So to come out now and say these dumb things he's saying, I'm glad it happened that way, because it shows people exactly who he is. And if you're mad about it, just look like Al Davidson, I'm not apologizing. You know what I mean? That was a little different, but don't apologize. No, that's what you meant. That's what you meant in your heart. Why are you coming back off of it? Maybe Nike called them. I'm sorry.
You know that movie about to come out, so you know you don't want to mess up no money from that Space Jam too.
And one of the dumbest things, and Shannon man's starting to fall off me, but I just got him. I'm still trying to love this brother. But one of the dumbest things he said. He said this morning. See, that's the reason why Michael Jordan never said nothing. Because you're damn if you do, and you're damn if you seriously. Bro.
I didn't put on LeBron on purpose because
you got to.
I mean, you guys could bring it up, but I didn't put him on the topics because it's almost like the story becomes about him instead of what it's supposed to be about. And I didn't know what you were thinking about it on that.
Well, I mean, my thing though is, and I mean, I mean, you can say what you want to, and people think certain things, but the whole thing of the Kaepernick and this too, Kaepernick and LeBron, to the point of, I understand what Kaepernick was trying to do about the knee and stuff, and that's cool, dude. But to me, because a lot of stuff was happening, Kaepernick brought mention to it, LeBron trying to bring some mention to it. It's the whatever 8-9 minutes of is what made it happen, bro. You watch the damn video. So to keep trying to tell these athletes or somebody else saying they're the reason why it happened, I think you are really misguided
Mhm.
because I mean there are some people that are loyal fans in my opinion that would just maybe these guys can do no wrong and they might follow them because they said something and we live in such a social media age. But when you have all kind of people coming out and basically even from the point of the Minnesota Police Department, the top notch people coming out and saying that shit was dead wrong. Video did not lie. They finally got one right. People manned up, and I have a totally different uh, respect for the state of Minnesota because those people did that shit, man. The jury did that shit. There's only 4 of us on there, bro. There's some others on there too. But the people looked at the video and said, hey, here it is. This is what we're doing. We ain't worried about nobody else. The other part too is, I mean, we give athletes too much credit. Mm-hmm. Just because you make money, you play ball. You're not a scientist. You're not a, I mean, you don't have all the answers. And that's what's wrong with sports. I love sports my whole life. I've had some of my favorite players. I'm kind of like, oh man, that's a good dude. It's great. But I never once said, I wonder what he think about some politics. I wonder what he think about this. I never gave a damn because sports had its place when we was kids. Now everybody's, now they, visionaries and for them to say about, I ain't mad at it, but Shannon Sharp was right. That's why Michael Jordan didn't say nothing. It wasn't right that he didn't say anything, but it's about the cash. That's what you need to see it for. It's about them protecting their money. And when you see that, then you realize what the athletes are about. That's what it's about. If nothing else was rang true to me about his statement, it was the fact that now you should see them for who they are. He told the truth. But we are so enamored by, oh, he got Space Jam on. He's still a man. Told you all the time. Everybody got a little freak in him. So when all this stuff happened, now we got this stuff with Watson and whatnot. And I don't want to rant too much. All this stuff happened. Everybody like, I can't believe it's 20. I can't believe it's 22, 23. I'm trying to tell you, these motherfuckers is just like everybody else. When you get over that as people and realize they just make more money, they can do other things, they got problems. Yeah. Thank God for my dad, man. He rest in peace. He put that shit down to me a long time ago. A man is a man, a woman is a woman, no matter how much cash you got. And they more likely are going to mess up. So I never really worshiped anybody where I was like, oh. So I'm just saying, the more you realize that, I ain't saying you got to give them a pass. But when you realize, see them for who they really are as people, you like, well, damn, such and such happened now. Okay, well, damn, that's messed up.
You know what? I was thinking about this the other day. I started to text Black about this, but I wanted to wait till the show to get his reaction about this. With all that Watson is going through, I would have bet my last dollar that Winston would have been going through this instead of Watson. Jameis Winston. Remember?
Well, that's true. That's true.
I'd have bet my last money. If you'd have told me a quarterback with the last name W would be in this mess with 22 women, I was like, Jameis Winston. Put my money on it.
Hey, man.
I think, I'll say this. And I think for in a sense that we expect more of our people, bro.
Yeah.
But we want to admit it or not, we just do. And with that respect, it comes kind of responsibility. You could choose to shed it, because Charles Barkley shed it years ago. And let's be honest, there's a lot of us that don't like Charles for that reason. A lot of us just don't like him because of who he is, because, he's, to me, the brother's, he's out there. I'm refraining from calling him a name. I've called him names many times. But when you say to me, Michael Jordan, now, you're right about not we basically saving his money, but Michael Jordan lost respect for Black people, in my opinion. He just did. And a lot of these cats do, because they move up a certain ladder of eliteness, of making money. And then we're looking at them and we decide we're going to still follow them or we're not. And majority of people continue to follow. And what I see what the difference with LeBron is, like I said earlier, LeBron thinks, because ESPN, it's not LeBron. ESPN has made LeBron this person. You got to hear what he has to say when it comes to these social issues. And I'll say it again. Until he atones what he did in Cleveland. No one even talks about that anymore. act like it didn't happen. They get ready to open that case up. They're trying to open that case up again with Tamar Rice. And so that brother comes back and atone for that. To me, everything he says is irrelevant when it comes to social issues. I'm just gonna be honest. Because anybody can wait till the temperature is a certain thing and come out and speak. But it takes a strong man or a strong woman when nobody's behind you to open your mouth and say something. And to me, Michael Jordan will always be a coward. Always, I look at him as being a coward. I just will. I mean, whether it's about his money or whatever, I don't care. Michael Jordan basically became God. I'll look at him as being a coward because to me, that's what he represents. So what LeBron tries to do is play off that, like, well, I'm out here. No. And he just, here again, if you're truly about it, why are you explaining all this? Stand behind it, bro. Stand behind it. So what if they cut you off? They ain't cut Kaepernick off. You have a right to have your own opinion. But he's so afraid. He wants black people to still love and admire him. At the same time, he wants to basically he's maintaining Main Street, Madison Avenue, New York. You got to decide which one you're going to live for. You can't do them both because there's a conflict when you try to do them both. And Michael Jordan decided, I'm going to live for Madison Avenue. It made him a lot of money. But at the same time, I'm not going to respect him for it. That's just my personal opinion. But that's what LeBron is. He's trying to play both sides. I got a movie, I got this. And let's face it, he does a lot of great things off the court. But when he opens his mouth about social issues, is basically what he feels like, okay, I can say this because everybody's mad, or someone else tells him what to say. But here again, you was walking, last year in a bubble, had the t-shirts on, you had all this on, was on the course and everything else. Come on, bro. Either you're for it or you're not. One of the two. There's no middle ground here.
Yeah, I just for me though, I think one of the biggest disservices we do to our children and our people is to buy into this bullshit of athletes. And I'm telling you, and I just feel that way. I had a cousin, like I said, over and over, was all pro, played 15 years in NFL. They just people. They are just people, but we are so enamored with this whole thing, with the social media even more now. Like they have an opinion. So what they care about. But I understand what you're saying. It just rubs me the wrong way. It's like they're leaders. Hell, we've been so desperate to have Malcolm X and Martin Luther King come back or somebody else that now we're going to athletes. When we said on this show and definitely on Black Men Talk before, it should be about having damn leaders in your community. And what they should be saying, and I'm gonna get off of this real quick because I know we got some other things to do, but I'm gonna say this. What you should be doing, I was telling somebody this literally yesterday, particularly after the verdict. How about us really now giving praise and acknowledging the folks that was behind the movement, the different people, the different kinds of people, the different colors of people, the different backgrounds of people, the young people. Give them some damn credit because they marched. My ass didn't march. A lot of other people my age and older were marching, and other people didn't. They made it happen because they don't want to live like that anymore. Once they saw that come down with the video, they rose up, they marched. I mean, Puma, you know what I'm talking about. You were out there in the streets, you saw them. That's what we need to do. Instead of worrying about what an athlete said or, what they really think of, let's give it credit to the people that made it work out there every day. Young sister out there from Minnesota every day after this happened, and when it did come down the right way, she literally cried. Those are my champions. Real talk.
Good stuff.
I agree. When you have people in Idaho marching, ain't no black folks in Idaho. When you have folks I'm getting pictures from Germany marching over that.
I'm going to say this, man, and I've always been kind of reluctant to I've been thinking this for a while, and I've been reluctant to say this, and I'll make it real quick. And I know I spoke of the COVID and what happened and how God kind of did this with the country. To me, and I hate to say this, but I've been feeling this for a while. George Floyd was a sacrificial lamb to wake up this world to what we've been talking about and been experiencing for years, bro. And I believe he was used in that reason because you put it all together for what has transpired from his death, from the video and everything else. I look at it as being God, bro. Like you just said, Boom, when you got white people in Idaho, they seen other black killings, they heard about it, they read or whatever, that come out and say, you know what? This ain't right, we're gonna do something about it. When you got countries that don't even speak English that are protesting in their streets about it. Come on, bro. So I think it was a mass wake up. I think he was a sacrificial lamb, and I hate to kind of put it out there, but sometimes in life, you look at Martin Luther King Jr., and I'm not trying to put him on the same stage as him, but there's one that happens and it transforms the way things are done. And it changes things.
I think his daughter even said something to what you're saying. She
Mhm.
says, "My daddy changed the world."
Yeah, yeah,
She even recognized that. You know,
yes.
she's not going to have her daddy around, but she
Mhm.
knows that the legacy that he's leaving is that my daddy changed the world.